Hi, everybody. I'm the guy, Braithorn. How's it going? Yeah, I'm still not feeling great. But you know what? The show must go on. Luckily for me, my job consists of sitting around and talking about computers, so that helps. And thankfully, I didn't lose my voice being sick this week, so that's been nice because I need that to work. But yeah, hopefully y'all got to catch the video yesterday. I actually haven't checked on how it's doing. Kind of curious. Let me check it out. See how it's doing in the rankings compared to previous videos. 4 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad. Thank you guys for watching. For those of you who did, I appreciate it. It's nice to get back to SI Weekly. The goal is to make the name accurate once again. Make it weekly again. So it's a pretty simple goal. We'll see if I can keep up with it. It's just hard with new stuff coming out because it's like, what the hell do I talk about? How can I recommend something when I'm kind of like, hold off, wait. Do I just keep talking about rumors more? I mean, like, Let's look at Twitch chat real quick first. Crash, welcome. I am feeling better than I was yesterday and the day before that. I'm slowly improving. So that's all I can really ask for. What's up, Coggle? How's it going? I'm happy to hear that. I do have a good time with the streams as well. Thank you, Alucard. I'm getting there. Getting there slowly. Thank you, Crash. I'm glad you liked the video. You know who else liked the video? Was Reactor Gaming. They took notes from what I said. And actually, when I reached out to them and said, hey, I have a video coming out for y'all today, he's like, we're already working on the pictures. Like, that was one of the first things he told me. I was like, okay. Yeah, you knew that was going to be a thing. Okay. You have watched my videos. Okay. What's up, Steve? How's it going? You should have stuck with me on Tuesday. Yes. I'm glad you're here. I have not seen it. No. Steve, the Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story. I have not seen that. You know, when I was a kid, Superman was Christopher Reeve was Superman. So yeah, a lot of that was pretty close to home there. With you know, that was anyone in my generation, I guess. But I guess you got to think about the fact that for a lot of the people who are out there now, the only movie Superman they know is like Henry Cavill. And well, there was also, what is it? Superman, was it Superman Returns? What was that guy's name? He was also in Scott Pilgrim. I can't remember the actor's name. But he was cool. He was great in Scott Pilgrim, for one thing. What's up, Sailor X? How's it going? John Paul Bacon, welcome. Start my own pre-built company when I retire. 3 models of PCs: the Possum, the Cooter, and the Gator. The Gator would cost $1,500 and be in the King 95 case. Not bad. I mean, I got to tell you, it's not as easy. I mean, it doesn't sound easy to run a PC company, and it's not as easy as it sounds. I just had a long conversation with an SI today, and it's just fraught with a lot of caveats and challenges, and you got, it's tough. What's up, Robert? How's it going? Is it Renor or Rhinor? Hi, how are you? Joseph Huckins, how are you? Welcome. Alice, welcome. Glad to see you. Blaze Box, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Observer of Thoughts, welcome. Broga, how are you? Crash, I actually thought Henry Cavill was pretty good. The problem was the narrative in those movies was just wrong. It was just wrong. It wasn't what it should have been. You know what I think Henry Cavill should do next is well, I mean, at some point he should be James Bond. I think he'd make a great James Bond. Because, he is British, after all. I think he'd be a great James Bond. Christopher Reeve was the OG GOAT Superman. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you watch Superman 1, it's a fantastic movie. You watch Superman 4, not as much. but it had its charm, for sure. Brandon Routh. Yeah, that's right. That's the guy. Thank you, Broga. Is it Brendan or Brandon? Brendan, I guess. You guys are probably, you have your resources there, so yeah. Superman Returns, that's right. Cavill should be the next Wolverine. That'd be cool too. But I think that we should honestly get an authentic Short King to play Wolverine, to be true to the comics. Jackman was awesome, but he was also tall. And I loved how they played off of that in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Renor, thank you for asking. You're welcome. That's what I do. Northern Lights, welcome. How are you doing? And Cherokee Vapor, how's it going? That's right, everybody. I'm here. I shambled my way into I used to call this the game room, but Ari's computer isn't here anymore. We don't game together in here anymore, and it's just my office now. I guess the office, the studio, whatever. I shambled my way in here, and I am going to attempt to stream for y'all tonight. My recovery has not been as quick as I'd hoped it would be. I'm shocked that I did not lose my voice with the amount of coughing I was doing yesterday. Oh my God. And last night. I guess because I've done a lot of like theater and singing and stuff, my voice is somewhat resilient, I suppose. I don't know. It's whatever. But I'm going to give y'all everything I got tonight. I'll do the best I can. And it's funny because you could kind of tell. I recorded the episode that I published yesterday on Saturday. Cuddles did the primary editing on Sunday. And then I got really sick. And I tried to do some work on it and I couldn't. And then Tuesday stream happened and I was like, I'm starting to feel better. And then Tuesday stream tired me out. And I regressed a little bit, but I was able to get the edit done, the polish on I do a polish up edit, a follow up edit, usually do the audio, stuff like that. Do a couple extra little cuts, things like that, and effects. And I've had my eyes closed for too long here. And I was able to get the episode up, but I did record it on Saturday, but you could kind of almost hear me starting to get sick already. There, it was evident. Sheriff Folds, my son is watching Deadpool as we speak. Okay, cool. What's up, Angry Beaver? Welcome to the stream. Brandon Routh is okay. Again, story was a letdown. Plus, he was doing a Reeve impersonation. See, that just doesn't work. And that's why usually when people talk about like the best Jokers and whatnot, it's when they like make their own thing. Or at least they only borrow certain aspects. And that's kind of what happens with every Joker. But I mean, then again, like, what's his name in Suicide Squad was not a good Joker. He was, but that was also a poorly written Joker, like horribly written Joker. I made a small step towards deciding what I'm going to build, sorta. I found a pre-build with a 5700X3D and a 4060. I know GPU is not all that. Going for 800 euros European market price. A 5700X3D. Okay. Is that what you're wanting to build, or are you going for a pre-build? I'm confused. Cavill should be Sentry. That would be sick. Iron Man 2s and 3s weren't as good as I'd hoped they might be. There are what Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 is fantastic if you're not comparing it to Iron Man 1 or Avengers. It is a fantastic exploration of the character of Tony Stark. It is so good. But as a follow-up to Avengers, it was kind of rough because people wanted more Avengers, which is why if you look at Civil War, so many characters from the Avengers are in it. They're like, oh, people wanted that. Okay, sure. Captain America Civil War, I mean. But of course, you can't really have the Civil War without a bunch of the Avengers in it. So, but that didn't even need to be a Captain America movie. That could have just been an Avengers movie, Avengers Civil War. And Cap could have gotten his own movie. But whatever. Jared Leto was just badly written. I mean, it kind of cuts both ways. Because an amazing actor, I mean, okay, like Jared Leto is a good actor. I'm not gonna sell him short on that. He didn't have a lot to work with. Sometimes an actor comes in and it's the right thing, and they're like, "This isn't that great, but I'm gonna make magic with it." But there wasn't enough for that either. I think he did as good of a job as he could have. That's for sure. At work till 7 a.m. That's how I am. Good Lord. Well, I'm glad you made it, Cherokee Vapor. Hang in there. He's doing a Highlander remake. Could be good. Can you tell him a movie nerd? Oh my God, yeah. Wait. Are you saying Henry Cavill is doing a Highlander remake? That sounds awesome. Loved Highlander growing up. It was so good. The show, not so much, but the freaking movie. Good Lord. Yeah, Blazebox. That's why I usually ask people to fill out the form so they can tell me what they're going to be doing with their PC, because that's why I didn't just jump into making recommendations. And if I'm not provided with enough info, the usual thing is just like, all right, go through the form. And well, I didn't say that, but I'm not on top of my game right now. Anyone looking for help, if you're in the YouTube chat, please check the description. The very first thing there will tell you that if you want help, you click that link and fill out the form. If you're in Twitch chat, you'll notice that Stream Elements pops it up every now and then. Want help getting the right PC for your budget and needs? Then the form is at the end of that. To be honest, not initially, but I feel like it's a good deal seeing how that's the cheapest price it's been since the release of the CPU. Yeah, I mean, you're locked into AM4 at that point. Remember that. Whatever performance you get is the performance you're going to get from then on from the CPU anyway. You can always upgrade the GPU as long as the power supply doesn't need upgrading as well, which you can also do that. Consider Iron Man 1 to be Origins, 2 and 3 are the actual ones. Iron Man 1 is probably, it's in my top 10 favorite movies. It is so good. It is like, it's not the origin story for Iron Man. It's the origin story for the Avengers. And it's like, oh man, it's so good that way. Because it all started there. But even aside from that, it's a great movie on its own. Kind of cannot change it. They don't negotiate at the store. I found it. Interesting. I know the GPU is bottlenecking the CPU. Well, Renor, if you're going to be doing something like competitive 1080p gaming, you need a good CPU that can put out a lot of frames. And the 4060 can do 1080p high refresh rate. So, bottleneck, yeah. Well, not bottlenecking it per se, but the CPU could do better. I mean, I guess. If you're going for 1080p resolution and you want to get very high, if you're going for competitive gaming or anything like that, then it's not a bad balance. It's just, if it were an AMD GPU, you get a lot more frames for the dollar, I think. I saw a posting of a 7700 XT for $350 US. That is so much graphics card for $350. Holy Toledo. Somebody had fun. Who gets that quote? Anyone get that quote? Holy Toledo. Hot take, Thor Love and Thunder is underrated. Crash, I actually didn't watch that. And that's because I loved Ragnarok. But I knew, like, if they tried to recreate the magic of Ragnarok, it wouldn't be the same. And going by the iconography on it, the graphic design, like the imagery, things like that, it looked like they were trying to do the same thing. I didn't watch Love and Thunder, which I don't know. At that point, I had Marvel burnout. I was burnt out. I was like, you know what? Like, I've seen, I saw Endgame. I got the conclusion that started all the way back. I got the resolution for this arc that started all the way back in what, 2005? When was Iron Man? So long, 2008? I don't remember. A long time ago. 2008, I think. And it's so many, it's so satisfying that I was like, all right. I mean, it's all, if you step back and look at the Infinity Stones arc from Iron Man 1 all the way to Endgame, step back and you will see Tony Stark's character arc. You see it so plain, just like so good. And Cap too, Captain America too. He had his own too, of course. But they took those two most popular characters and they ended those characters in the narrative, which is like, wow, it's a bold move. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Nighthawk says, finally pulled the trigger and got myself a custom build from Alexander PC. So excited to play it when I get back home. Thank you for showing us who they are and keep up the amazing work. Keep doing what you're doing and helping us. Nighthawk, thank you. Keep saying nice things about me. I'm kidding. That's enough. Did you get your $50 off though? It's right there. It's those 5 letters, THORN, $50 off. If you fail to get that, well, if you already have it, they might not retroactively apply the discount at this point. But code Thorn. I mean, it depends on what system you get. It becomes, the higher the price of the system, the smaller the percentage discount it is, because it's a fixed discount. But it's $50. That's like a decent keyboard or a decent mouse. Yeah, I'm getting tired of super movies, to be honest. Like, that's what Deadpool was for. Deadpool versus Wolverine was the palate cleanser, I think. It was ideal for that purpose. And there could not have been a better entry for Deadpool into the MCU. To come in and say like, all right, everybody, let's just calm down with the 18 series running at once. Let's calm down with the movies that are too all up in their own business to appeal to audiences and give us what we want. Let's just have some fun. Ragnarok made me angry since that made Planet... Well, it made Planet Hulk not a thing. But we got Gladiator Hulk from that. You got to take what you can get, because remember, this is its own universe in the multiverse. It just meant that that narrative was different. That situation was a little different. That's what that meant. So it's almost like you have to accept that, because that's what they're deciding for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not like it's saying they're just saying it's not going to be. I believe there's a good animated movie of that. I haven't watched it, but I think there was one. What's up, Dave Odell? Welcome. How's it going? Blazebox. That's that's an awesome deal on 7700 XT. It is. It really is. Synthesis. Thoughts on Starforge PCs? Starforge is killing it. They're doing a great job. I feel like they have been too heavily reliant upon Intel platforms, and that made it hard for me to recommend them with all this Intel stuff going on. They only have like one 7800X 3D system or something like that. I need to double check. But I like Starforge. I like Starforge a lot. They're getting to this point that's a little similar to a couple other companies. Like Falcon Northwest is kind of like this. I feel like Power GPU is like this too. Companies that, like, as long as I've mentioned them, I've talked about them, they don't really need me to push them. They're like their own little force of nature. Or big one, as far as Falcon Northwest is concerned, and as far as Starforge is becoming. And of course, Power GPU is just, they're goated in their own way. Like they just like have such an ownership of what company they are, what they do, and how they do it. So I don't talk about Starforge as much, but also, again, most of their systems are Intel, and we are very close to Arrow Lake. And if Arrow Lake is good, I'm looking forward to being able to work more talking about SIs that are Intel focused. And I just feel like SIs should have both options. Some don't. I had a long conversation about that today. And I get it. I get that, like, part of the conversation was this, like, we did Intel. Yeah. None of our customers had problems because we did settings in our BIOS that circumvented those problems. And if anyone did have those problems, we would just replace the CPU. And you go, all right, okay. Why don't you do AMD? Well, because AMD, if you do higher end AMD CPU, there are issues with the dual CCD thing and core parking, and you have to know to go into the BIOS and do these custom settings and get it just right. And there's SIs that aren't doing that. I was like, okay, so you're doing custom settings for Intel in BIOS, which you can then save your BIOS settings. And if you're only using certain motherboards, which they were, you just load those BIOS settings. As long as it's up to date, you can load settings from a saved BIOS. And you're doing that for Intel, but you don't want to do that for AMD, even though that's basically what you're saying it needs. But I mean, the thing about my side of things is I don't see failure rates like SIs do. And this particular one was saying we were seeing higher fail rates with AMD. And they don't want high failure rates. They're gonna wait for like 9000 X3D. It's not that the door is closed for them using AMD. They're just like, we didn't want to do 7000 series because it was a first generation of their new socket and new all this stuff. They didn't like the boot times, you know, having to train memory every single time it would boot from scratch early on. So like, and sometimes it still does it. So they're like, nah, and that's their prerogative. It's not my job to tell SIs what to do. I'll ask important questions and I'll make suggestions, but they do business the way they want to. However, with the way that Intel's leadership handled their problems, I did not want to recommend them because that's me putting my name on something saying, yeah, I can recommend this. And I don't, even though, like, what if after the first microcode update, I've been like, all right, everybody, we're good. Everything should be fine. Intel said it's good. They just came out with another one. What does it tell us about the first one? Man, I don't know. Is this Starforge saying this? No, it's not Starforge saying this. One-headed gamer, how's it going? I am feeling a tiny bit better. I know I sound better. My sinuses have improved. Achiness, onset of migraines has been reducing because of the sinus pressure reducing. Sore throat is still there, but it's not as bad. And I'm not like, I didn't lose my voice, thank goodness. And it's just it's like being beaten to death with feathers with just a multitude of symptoms. But thankfully I'm able to talk. I'm gonna have a little bit more energy. It's just moving is hard. Because my body was like sore. And also my energy levels were like even lower. I really have to like drag myself around the house if I need to do anything in the house. It's really depressing when I get sick because I'm already low energy. Not that you could tell when you see me at like an event or something, but that's different. Like my brain finally takes over and it's like, no, we're at an event. This is a few days. You can do this. But I feel like you and I have Deadpool and Wolverine friendship energy. Crash, yeah. That's let's just, I need to get a list of like top 10 parasocial comments in my chats. At Crash, I think you might take up like half of that list, my friend. Going for them parasocial vibes. But yeah, you know. Uh-oh, ad break. Sorry, I didn't snooze it. The animated movie was good, but would have been nice to see it happen in the MCU as well. Yeah. I love that small fractal build Starforge had a while back. Starforge does awesome things, and I was supposed to go tour Starforge like in March or something. And scheduling issues kept happening. I need to talk to Nick. Nick, I'm sorry, man. Like I'm so dedicated to going over there, touring the facility, hanging out with you guys, saying hi to everybody, and high fives all around. Now, to be clear, and I think Steve has mentioned this already, Steve and Gamers Nexus toured Starforge Systems. They haven't published it yet. I'm basically kind of waiting on that to see what tone they had, because if they're going to do a serious tour, I want to do a funny one. That's what I want to do. Let's get some of OTK in on it. It'd be fun. Probably more than half. Yeah. But yeah, Sheriff Olds, it was not Starforge saying that. It was a different SI. Hashtag Tony Stark was right in the end. Yeah. Renor says the cheapest 7700 XT I found was 460 euros. It might be a US only deal. That's pricey. I want a PC, not the PS5 Pro. Any recommendations? My recommendation, Kenneth, is to go to the description of the stream, click the link there, fill out the form. It gets you on the list to get one-on-one help. Random questions in chat, I won't be able to help you very well. That Steve already told you. There you go. Text is a bugger for tone. I know that. As Intel say when they are going to sell off their fabs, if they do, they're not going to. They're not going. Okay, Intel could very well sell parts of their overall corporation, of like parts of the business. They could do that. However, the U.S. government gave them billions to build fabs. They're not selling them off. They would get trounced by the U.S. government if they did that. Thank you, Synthesis. I appreciate that. Dave Odell, I've never been in the MCU, but I watched Deadpool and Wolverine last night. It was great fun. I regret that you were not into the MCU because there were so many good references in there. But the good thing about that, you know a good movie when it's not heavily reliant upon references or nostalgia for 15-year-old movies. Like, they did such a good job on that movie. I will say, perhaps this is a hot take. I don't care. I'm sick. I can do what I want. Okay, listen up. There it is. Okay, listen up. I think Deadpool and Wolverine suffered from some pacing issues. I think that the pacing was not ideal. There were times where I was kind of like, because there was so fast paced in certain parts. Okay, so pacing is a weird thing for cinema, right? You don't want it to be all go all the time. You need to take a breath. You need a breather. I think that they took those things and they extended them for too long in a couple of instances. Do you guys feel me on that? Am I alone in this? Am I weird? Okay, that's not the right question. I am weird, but am I weird in this regard? Alucard, thank you for listening in. I appreciate that. Are you a Dragon Ball fan? Any ideas on the new anime coming out? I am a longtime Dragon Ball fan. However, I don't have any I'm not following the new anime coming out. I stepped away from some of that stuff after Toriyama's tragic passing. It was kind of, I was just like, wow, it's felt like a chapter closed to me in my own fandom in my life, but I will support whatever there is there. I know there was more manga, so, right? I got so, what's up, Jim Diffie? How's it going? I got so hyped when I saw your newest video on Reactor Gaming. Got my dream PC ready to go for under 2K. Wow. Yeah, Reactor is pretty slick. I like what they're doing over there. It's funny because there are sites that have perfect, like all the specs are correct, everything's good, and then just like, but the people behind them are kind of, eh. In this case, it's the opposite, where I know that the site needs work and there were some typos and things here and there, and like they need pictures, but I know the person behind it is like in. They are 100% all in on what they want to do, how they want to run things, and apparently, like I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. Like the dude told me that he based a lot of what he does on my videos, which is like nuts. But I was thinking about it. I was like, if there was someone who was sort of taking the place of the authority in the field you want to get into, and they're like, here are the things that I would like to see, it just kind of makes sense to be like, yeah, I can to like look at the crunch the numbers, be like, I could manage that, and then do it. But that doesn't mean it's easy. So I respect what he's doing. And I do have a coupon code there now. It is Brayathorn. And you get $50 off any system over $900. That's usually what you can expect with a smaller SI. You'll usually see something like a $50 discount. So if you're going to be getting that one, drop code Brayathorn there. Let them know that you liked the video I did. Hit up Asmongold. I don't think Asmongold would want to take the time to walk around. I've met Esfand, and I've hung out with Esfand, and he's super cool. He's super cool. Like, just he every time I see him, he's just like willing to chat with me. And it's not because he's part owner of an SI and I'm the pre-built guy. He's just cool. So I think I'd like to hang out with Esfand for that, and I think he'd be fun for the video. Or you know, it's either way. Those people are all that whole crew is all busy all the time. I'm not trying to but that's why there's been scheduling issues, and then, you know, like stuff going on, Computex, things like that. Stuff with me mostly, honestly. I feel like everything GN does is serious sometimes. Steve and GN are amazing at what they do. Blazebox, I've told the story already on stream, but there's a little spark of madness in Steve. I haven't talked about it in this way, I guess. It's probably one of my favorite things about him. And anytime you want to see that spark of madness, watch the disappointment build for the year and all the production they do on that. And like, it's just, he's just, yeah. But there's a certain kind of excitement or challenge that he likes to rise to, and just he gets invested in certain things. And I saw that when I met him for the first time at Computex this year. And it was really funny to see, because I've met a lot of people who I admire, and I try to keep it chill. I try not to fanboy out too much, because, you know, people get that a lot that are really well known in their space. So I walked up, he would finish the conversation with someone else that I know. He would finish the conversation, and I walked up to him, and I was just like, hey, Steve, man, just, you got a second? I just wanted to say, I've been following GN since it was just articles on a website, and I appreciate everything you do, man. And he fell into the voice, the sort of like the, yeah, thank you, appreciate, that means a lot, thank you. You know, and that's just what you say to things like that. I'm not at a point yet where it's rote for me, like it's routine. If you see me somewhere and you say like, hey, I love your videos, I'm like, oh crap, really? Thank you. Like, I mean, but Steve's been in the game a long time, and no one could blame him for getting to the point where it's like, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, cool. Go over here. You know, but I was like, after that, I was like, I'm Braithorn. I'm the pre-built guy. And he's commented on one of my videos before, and I guess there was some recognition there. He was like, oh yeah, okay. And I was like, no, dude, yeah, but what you do for consumers, it's just been, you know, it really was formative for me. It helped me sort of figure out what I'm doing. It means a lot. He went back into the sort of tone of like, oh yeah, cool, man. And then I was like, I don't agree with you about pre-builts. I don't like your pre-built reviews. And he was like, there was a switch. You're just like, oh, okay. Like, now he's invested in the conversation. So we'll see what comes of that. I don't want to bother them. I haven't bothered them since. I can reach out to them, but I haven't bothered them. I haven't wanted to bother them because it is the busiest time right now. And they had the EK thing. They had 9000 series. They had now upcoming Arrow Lake and 9800X 3D, and it's just a lot of stuff. And I'm not trying to be like, hey, let's do a debate video or something like that. But Ginger Me Timbers, give yourself more credit. We take your info pretty serious too. Ha, I appreciate that. What's up, Ginger Me? What's up? How's it going? Tiger Lily, I appreciate the lurk. Thank you very much. Welcome. I do appreciate that. And no, but Patrick, gotta remember though, I'm just a dude in a room. Like, I get some cool feedback from you guys sometimes, and when the streams are one of my favorite things because I get to talk directly to you guys. 90% of the time, I'm just a dude in a room editing video or talking into a camera and looking at websites or messing with a PC or whatever. I'm just a guy. So it's very easy to fall into the feeling of like, what am I doing? You know? So getting that kind of thing, it does, you know, I don't know, fires you up, it gasses you up, you know? Mainly watch because of Ryan Reynolds. I'm really waiting to see him in Project Hail Mary. Unfortunately, the movie won't be released until March 2026. Wow. People were hating the concept of the multiverse until Deadpool, Wolverine. Then those people were real quiet. It's because they actually, what did I say? What did I say, Sailor? They had fun. They actually had fun with it. Like, there was some cool stuff in Endgame. There was some shenanigans in Endgame, but that wasn't multiverse, was it? It was time travel. No, multiverse stuff is a lot more fun. I would rather have fewer SATA ports to have better M.2 and GPU support. John, here, what they usually do is they just share channels. So if you're not using SATA port 5 and 6, then you can use M.2_4. So they usually just put them there, and then if you don't use them, they are not utilized, and you get more M.2 that way. The new Dragon Ball anime, they go to the demon realm, and all the characters are cursed, and Goku, Vegeta, etc. are turned into kids. It's like Ken and GT. Oh, no. Oh, no. Really? Oh, Lord. Okay. Is it good? Is it good, though? If it's good, then good. But, like, for sure, Asmon is too lazy. Yeah, pretty much. What's up, Iron? How's it going? AB2, welcome. Berthan, why don't you like the pre-built reviews there? Just interested. I have gone over this before, but if you're new here, then I'll explain real quick. It's not just their pre-built reviews. It's kind of everybody's. And this is why my pre-built unboxing and shakedowns are the way they are. First off, there's no way to make any kind of mistakes on showing what the actual results were, how the testing was, what the cable management, none of that, because it's all live. And then if we do an edited review video out of that, it's cut from the live stream. So it is all live in front of people. You get an actual experience. But secondly, I don't turn around after seeing something like that and completely write off a company unless there's a whole lot of other stuff going on. Like right now, I'm not really recommending Build Redux because their new case is very error restricted. Yeah, that's a thing, right? And there were some weird decisions made there. But also, I don't like the RAM and storage that they have on there. And they told me half a year ago that they would change it, but give them a couple months or whatever. And it still hasn't been changed at all. They're using old technology. And that's a passed on thing from Digital Storm. Digital Storm will sell you a $3,000 PC with an M.2 drive default that will do 2,000 megabytes per second down read speeds. That's their performance series. Way to go, Digital Storm. Anyway, I'm gonna start calling you all Digital Drizzle. Jeez. Not much of a storm, if you ask me. But so what happens is, take the SkyTech reviews for example. Okay, I was just talking about this earlier. God, I hope none of those guys are watching right now because they're gonna be like, oh, he's just repeating the stuff we just had this talk. It's on my mind though. That's why. If you also you asked. If you, okay, look at the two SkyTech pre-built reviews that Gamers Nexus did. They reviewed one. It went well. They proceeded to then add them to the list of 2, maybe 3 SIs they could possibly recommend. For months and months and months, they recommended Skytech based on that one PC. Then they ordered another one, and there was a mistake with it. There were issues with it, which can happen to any PC, any builder, anytime. It is a box of variables, and every build is different. Well, they saw that, and even though Skytech's immediate response was send it right back, we'll get it all fixed up for you, they were like, we no longer recommend Skytech as a company forever. Like, you just like a year ago, you said you do, and now you say you don't. What? Huh? Maybe that's because you can't just take one PC and say that that's how all of them will be, because it doesn't work like that. If you're going to be doing component reviews, you don't need a huge sample size. As a matter of fact, Gamers Nexus is a great video explaining this and showing it. But that's individual components, not entire PCs. And besides which, people aren't just buying the PCs when you buy from a system integrator. You're buying the ownership experience. You're buying the purchasing experience, the ownership experience, the support you get. That is what you're actually paying for. Otherwise, you're just buying parts. You're paying more than just the price of the parts. You're paying for the build fee. You're paying for the warranty. You're paying for shipping, all that stuff. All of that is goods and services. What's the important part there? The services. So, how do I get around this? Because they secret shop. I can't do that. I can't afford to. I'm the only pre-built guy there is, and I'm not big enough and with enough income to afford the secret shop PCs. But that secret shopping PCs does not matter, because all you can tell people is whether that one PC is good or bad. So what do? What I do is I will show you the company putting its best foot forward. They know they're sending me a PC. This should be the best case scenario, what the company's intention is for you to get. And if you don't get that with your PC, their job is to make it so it's like that, fix whatever the problems are. And along with this, in our Discord, we have SI testimonials. For those of you who've been around for a while, I've been telling you guys the most helpful thing you can do is do a testimonial if you've bought a pre-built. It is a group of channels. We have so many SIs in there. Probably the one you're interested in is in there too. And you can find real community members, first person reporting what their experience was like. Some of them will include pictures, which is super helpful. Some of them will have issues and report how the fixing of that issue went, which is the most helpful thing. I'm not hoping anybody has issues, but if you do, understand that you have now an opportunity to see what your whole ownership experience is going to be like. So that's why I don't agree with how they do pre-built reviews. Is there a way for them to fix it, considering they've done so many? Not really, but their conclusions can be adjusted, where they say, oh, we completely... No. It's like... I mean, when it comes to something like the Corsair 1, that is a product. That is a homogeneous product, completely developed by Corsair. They may as well be an OEM for that. If he says, don't buy this because of the design, fine. But PCs are just ATX compatible components with like the ATX motherboard or MATX, whatever, ATX case, ITX, whatever, doesn't matter. It's just an amalgamation of components that are compatible. And you can build that. Anyone who decides they want to build a PC could build that. That is not what you're buying. You're buying basically the service after the fact. What were we talking about? I was just seeing chat flying by and I don't know. But there you go, Blazebox. That's my answer. Synthesis, but you're just a guy that a lot of us respect. Keep up hard work. Thank you, Synthesis. Appreciate that. Brandon D, now I feel like I need to wait for the next round of AMD processors. You only have to wait until the end of this month. Not the next round, like, no, X3D should be pretty rad, especially if they finally put 3D V cache on both CCDs for the Ryzen 9s. That'd be great. I mean, not great for things like productivity because you are losing frequency, but you're not going to have core parking shenanigans, I hope. Solsden, welcome. How's it going? You'd laugh at my PC. I'm still running an i5 2550K. I'm not laughing at that. Not too long ago, I was running a 4790K. It's not that much newer. Waiting to upgrade. Well, you need not wait much longer because this is the last few weeks before the latest stuff is out. Other than the GPUs. Look, if you guys want to wait for the next big thing, you're going to be waiting your entire life because there's always going to be some next thing coming out. But right when you're on the cusp of a 2.5 year upgrade, like with NVIDIA, maybe it's worth it to wait. Hard to say. I don't know. Whatever. What's up, Anton? 30 watching, only 15 likes. Like the stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Due diligence. I appreciate you checking on that for me. A lot of people that complain about pre-builts bought PCs off Amazon or Newegg or Best Buy. Yeah, pretty much. Or Dell or HP or Lenovo. Bumpkin Air, what's up? Finally upgraded from 32 gigs to 64 gig Flare 6000 DDR5. Well, I know what RAM you have now, but good. 64 gigs is nice. That's what I tend to default to on anything that's content creation related. That's the minimum we'll go with. Got a 2070 Super. I only played Diablo 4 and Path of Exile, so I don't need crazy specs, but I want to play Path of Exile 2. I fear my PC won't keep up. Synthesis, you just got to lower some settings. Games are game devs and game studios on purpose put in settings you can drop to the floor so that you can run the game maybe even on a toaster. That's how it's supposed to be done because they want the most people possible to buy their game. So yeah, what's up, Arutu? How's it going? How dare they talk that way about my Skytech? To be fair, Crash, Skytech did screw up in a big way in that build, but it was just that one person, not the entire company. And then they were like, we'll fix it. There you go. What's up, Celtic Dingus? I love that name. That's a great name. How are you? Jasmine the Bean, hello. Just wait for the X3D chips as they should be coming out soon. I gotta say, Alucard, some of the leaked benchmarks of Arrow Lake are pretty compelling. I'm optimistic. I'm especially optimistic because they're not manufacturing at this time. So less likelihood of oxidation. I was born in 1988, and am I crazy, or were Dell computers a lot better when I was a kid? No, that's not crazy. Here's the thing. Dell computers were fine back then. They just haven't improved in those, so many years. They're probably still using the same chassis from 1998, to be honest. If you look at some of the more recent Alienware systems. Robert says, I think a true review would hold more weight after 30 days of personal use. See, that's the thing is like, I can't do that because I can't switch all my work stuff over to another PC because I'll sometimes do multiple PC unboxings in 1 month. I am not a team. I'm just one guy. I have to work within my limitations. That would be great. And I'd love to do that. But really, as long as the thing about it is this, from one PC to another, as long as like the basic settings are correct and it can cool itself and there's not a ton of bloatware, everything's going to kind of work the same. What you'll find though is like, oh wait, these fan curves are kind of annoying. Oh wait, there's these little details that I can't catch in my reviews. That's my weakness because I can't take 2 weeks to do it because I'm doing it live on stream. I might change that over time. This is still an evolving process for me. But yeah, my sights are never not on trying to get better at this. That was a very confusing sentence. Good job, me. Hey, what's up? I got lucky today and got a FE 4090 for $400 and my 4080 FE. Oh, and my 4080 FE. Okay. Yeah. That's a solid trade. Congrats, Apocalyptic. Sounds like Crash pulled out the Grim Reaper scythe and I was headed to Gamers Nexus. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How dare they talk about that way about my Skytech? Yeah. If my toaster could run D4, I'd be happy. if he happy, I gave my PC to my kid and now I need to buy myself a new one. I want to just buy pre-built, so I'll keep following your videos when I'm ready to pull the trigger. Synthesis, when you're ready to pull the trigger, when you're a couple weeks away from buying, you just come in, fill out the form, and I will help you find the right PC for you one-on-one, live on stream. That's what we do. We're going to have to get to that soon. As much as I like... Oh, I meant a consumer review. Oh, yeah. You mean like one of the other ones. Yeah. Honestly, what I would have liked to see in that SkyTech review would be Steve sending back the PC, seeing how long it takes for them to fix it and send it back. Why wouldn't you do that? That's part of the experience. That's like a core part of the experience is RMAing a PC. That was an opportunity missed. No problem, Synthesis. Crash, I'm not afraid to admit that I am a fanboy. Okay, well, I mean, hey, if a company is capable of creating fanboys, they're doing something right. That's what that means. I want to try Owl Lake as well, but I do have one more LGA 1700 socket build in mind before moving to the next platform. Do your thing. And if you wait until Arrow Lake launches, LGA 1700 is only going to drop in price. Even more. I would get a UPS now if you don't already have one. Good advice, Sailor. Michelle, welcome. How are you? Have you done that ITX build yet? Why is Falcon Northwest 3000 for a 4060 GPU desktop? Silent Furies, they have those just for, like, because they carry a 4060. Most people, like, the lion's share of their customers are not getting PCs with 4060s. They have that for someone who wants to get a PC that's like more of a workstation. That's going to be doing, say, if you're doing programming and you need a CPU with a lot of compute, like a lot of cores or whatever, and you're just compiling code and you don't need a 4090. So they're going to have that, but it has all the other benefits of a Falcon Northwest PC. It's all about perspective. Like, that looks ridiculous if all you've trained yourself to look at is CPU and GPU. Not all the other components. They don't really carry crappy components. They're all nice no matter what level of PC you get. So that's going to cost more money. Oh, they are not gaming desktops? Well, they can make... Look, they carry Threadripper. That is the most anti-gaming thing there is. Of course, they make non-gaming PCs. They have rack-mounted systems. They cater to all higher-end clientele. And some of that clientele just needs some kind of GPU. They don't need anything really crazy. CPU I have in mind is 12900K, which is already discounted heavily. Okay. Not bad, not yet. Still gathering parts. Got the CPU, memory, and cooler. Still waiting on the Mobo and GPU. Okay. I feel invested in that system. I kind of want to see how it turns out. I get kind of invested in a lot of these. Okay, let's take a look at the spreadsheet and see if we can actually help somebody, because I've just been yapping for an hour. Guys, don't let me do this. You can't let me yap for that long. I will yap until I'm just a skeleton here. Like, I will be the what is it? Saving Private Ryan meme, the Matt Damon meme, yapping. Okay, so it looks like we have a few people that have joined. Well, a couple of people. Well, no. Okay, Christopher Varela joined, I guess, on the first, but Celtic Dingus has filled out the form. Origin PC, that's an interesting choice. Did you say only Origin or anything else? Origin PC, NZXT, iBuyPower, Digital Storm, Corsair. That's a handful of SIs, yeah. What's up? Judgment Yeen? What's up? Braythorn podcast? Yeah. It is a mystery. Wait, no, you can't see the other side. There you go. I was just messing with this. I don't know. They're just quarter 20 screws and a nut. Then if I am in the stream, I should voice chat with you to keep you in line. I've done something like that with Cuddles before when I was doing a build. Or was I doing a build? I think I was doing a build. Yeah, it was fun. Celtic Pengus? No, Dingus. Food ad. Whelp the war with... Oh, food ad. Whelp the war with Twitch continues. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look, Jasmine, you understand that they see beans in your name. So they're like, this is clearly a food-related person, someone who appreciates food. So there you go. My fault. I've derailed live streams into nothing but movie talk before. The banter is one of the best parts. You know, that is my favorite thing, is just chatting with you guys. Like, this is why community is awesome. And I get to get feedback from you and give feedback back. So Apocalyptic asks, do you think the 9800 X3D will be hard to get day one? Probably, maybe. I feel like AMD is not trying to do a paper launch right now because they want to undercut Arrow Lake. And you can't do that with a paper launch. OMG, you're right. Ah, yeah. That's my favorite sentence. Yeah, keep this up to date, Michelle. Or let us show us what it looks like when it's done. So, Celtic Dingus. Let's get you taken care of. Anyone else? Anyone else? Listen up. If you are in chat and you have filled out the form and you are waiting for help, I don't automatically know that. So you need to let me know by typing @Brayathorn, I'm on the list, and put that in chat. If you type my name correctly, which it's spelled right there in front of you, then it will highlight the message for me and I cannot miss it. Well, I might be selling myself short there. I can miss a whole lot of stuff, really. What's up, Braxton? I am not as bad as I was. I'm not 100% yet. Moving around is still difficult. Sore, tired. Just getting out of bed is a Herculean task. But I'm here. I made it. I didn't have to crawl to the office. I don't want to call this an office. It doesn't feel like an office. It's a studio, I guess. Whatever. I want to show you guys something real quick. Oh, I have to fix something too. I have to unzoom for one thing. And I have to fix the chat window. So here's what happens every time I do these. Oops. Every time I do these, I come to the most recent ones, which means we're seeing the earliest ones. Because this is a redo of the form. And these are the original ones. So that means we continuously look at the earliest ones. And I feel really bad for Protospy 22 because it continuously shows their text entry here where it asks, are you interested in getting your PC from a specific company? And they put Alexander Psoriasis stance build, I think. I think they were in a hurry. And I don't know what psoriasis is, but Alexander PCs it might have autocorrected. And then stints built. not stance build, but I look at this every single stream, and you guys do too, and I feel bad. I might just delete that, but yeah. What's up, B-Dom? How's it going? Thank you, Braxton. I will do my best. It'll be the question of AMD or Intel will release them at CES instead. I'm pretty sure that the Ryzen 9's 3D VCast chips are going to be at CES. We're just getting the 9800X 3D early to compete with Arrow Lake. Yeah. Oh, my Alexander build will be on Monday. Very cool. That should be fun. Don't miss it. Never heard of that SI before. Yeah, me neither. Okay, I'm not getting... Oh, there it is. There's Alucard. Whenever you're not here and the song comes on, I will sometimes be like, montage alert. Still one of my favorites. Still one of my favorite montages that I've done. I need to do just a collection of all of them and sort of retouch them, remaster, if you will. That'd be fun. I just love working on those. It's like making music videos. It's the best. Might need to add a filter and or sort to your sheet. This is fine. The main purpose of this is actually this. And this is already all sorted for me, because this is sourced from a Google form. This right here, like this question right here. Yo, Igor coming in with a gifted sub. Thank you very much, my friend. How you doing? That's a tier 1 sub for Stocky Jack. I appreciate it. And another one for Cleavon Big. Thank you, Igor. How you doing, bud? Did you do them separately just because you knew it would say that you've gifted a total of 169 in the channel and then 170? Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. How are you doing? But in the conversation I was in earlier today, without showing this yet, I asked them the question. This SI asked them the question. I was like, because we were having a little bit of a debate between Intel and AMD, and I hate Intel's. Here's my thought. Well, okay, first, I asked. There's a question on my forum, and it asks, "Do you plan on upgrading your CPU over time?" There's no ambiguity here. It strictly states, "Do you plan on upgrading your CPU over time?" That's it. And 65.8% of people say yes to this. So when I asked them the question, they were like, oh, like probably 10%. And no, these are smart people, though. Really smart people. They're super sharp. But this is a common misconception that most people, most pre-built buyers don't upgrade their stuff, their CPU in particular. And the reason this came up again was because of the Intel versus AMD thing. And my pet peeve with Intel is the 2 CPU generations per socket thing. It is arbitrary. It is complete. Do you really think that there's something they could achieve with those extra 151 pins that they couldn't achieve with LGA 1700? Now they got to go LGA 1851. Look at what AMD did with a fixed number of pins with AM4. Compare a Ryzen 1700 to a 5800X 3D. Tell me that's not insane. Okay? Jasmine, that headbanging thing is like perfectly in time with this song. That's amazing. So here's my thing. The common misconception that people don't care about upgrading their CPUs is just because most of them cannot, because they get Intel, so they got no room to upgrade, because like they'll get Intel and, oh, time for a new socket, everybody. Oh, we just can't do it with that number of pins. There's just no way. Shut up, AMD. We know better, and you cannot have viable increases in performance without adding more pins. We know better. Yeah. Most people don't upgrade their CPUs because they can't. There's not really a viable upgrade. You just get a new PC or whatever. But with AMD, they made it part of the culture to say you can upgrade that CPU and get multi-generational uplifts in performance. Let's go. I think people were not being asked this question. And when you're asked this question, you think to yourself like, yeah, I'd like to upgrade my CPU over time. It's the rest of the PC can pretty much mostly stay the same, unless you go to something that's not that hot running to something very hot running. Then you just need a CPU cooler upgrade. This is a huge way to upgrade your PC over years. Like, oh, if you wait 3-4 years to upgrade your CPU, if you have that kind of ability, because a platform allows for it, you can get huge gains without buying a whole new PC. Because, of course, you can also upgrade your GPU. Anyway. But yeah, look at that. Nearly 65%, 65.9% is bananas. That went up because someone filled out another form. Celtic Dingus not responding. Oh, there's Cleveland Big. What's up? Dang, app didn't update and would not let me do 2 at once. That's okay. That means we got to see that you gifted a total of 169 and then 170. It's good. It's a blessing in disguise. Only that the extra pins give is more chances to break. I mean, maybe. This is not the Buy Alienware show. You damn right it's not. Yeet. I don't want to buy a new motherboard just to upgrade my PC. CPU. Didn't even remember the Apple 30-pin connector. Oh, yeah. That thing was hot garbage. But you could insert it in either direction. That was their claim to fame. Oh, there's Celtic Dingus. Nice. All right. So we can do yours then. Now, this is the spiel, everybody. Listen up. Okay? Anyone who's filled out the form, listen to this. I should do all of these. Why am I doing just that one? Okay. I'm all like, listen to this, and then I say nothing. Okay. All right. So, in just a few weeks, I believe it's estimated on the 24th of October is when Intel is going to be launching their new platform with Arrow Lake CPUs and Z890 motherboards. That's all coming out around the 24th of this month. That's a few short weeks away. And, of course, not one to let Intel take all the spotlight there, AMD is going to be launching the newest 9800X 3D chip, either announcing or launching it this month. If they announce it this month, it will launch early November. They're not going to let Intel just have all the attention and have their launch without a hit, going off without a hitch there. No way. So, because they may also be launching a 9600X 3D as well, which should be more for, amazing gaming budget builds, like not like crazy low budget, because that's what you'll have something like eventually have a 9600 for or whatever, or just get a 7600. Fine. Because of that, most people with most budgets should probably wait until the reviews for those things come out and they become available for purchase, because, well, you have to decide for yourself. What is your take on something like this? If you buy a brand new pre-built PC and then a few weeks later a new platform comes out from Intel and AMD releases the new goated gaming CPU for the year, basically, or even the next year, 2 years, whatever, will you care? There's no right or wrong answer to that. You can say, no, I don't care. And then cool, you're correct. You don't care. If you do care about that, wait a few weeks. There's none of those, neither of those is a wrong choice. If you say, I want to just get a PC now, I'm in a hurry, I need one for this, my PC died, I want another one, whatever your reason for not waiting is a valid one. But now that you're if you weren't already aware, now that you are aware, you have the information to make the decision for yourself. Not to have me tell you what to decide, but to make the decision for yourself. And along with that, even though it's farther off, likely farther off, I'm thinking Q1 of 2025, or let's just say CES 2025 in early January, okay? That's when the announcement and eventual launch for 50 series NVIDIA GPUs are going to happen. I'm not going to harp on that too much until, say, December, probably. But anyone looking to buy like a 4090, first off, they're hard to find. So some SIs don't even have them. And secondly, that's a lot of money to spend on something that is going to be replaced in like 3 months. Less than, well, yeah, about almost exactly 3 months. So this goes out to Celtic Dingus and Judgment Teen. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, do y'all want to wait or do you want to go for it? Now for Judgment, I see that yours is an upgrade. So that's a different situation. But Celtic Dingus, that's kind of a big deal because you're looking at a $3,000 budget. Either you're going to be, financing, and that's going to be something you're going to have to pay off for a while, or you've been saving up for a while, and this is going to be a substantial investment for you. So you tell me. I can't tell you on this one. Bumpkin Air, find my 700X 3D. I can game, stream, and edit videos with it. There you go. That's what matters. Do you think Intel motherboards are going to be that much more expensive with the new CPUs? Motherboards are getting more expensive. There's no getting around it. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to dig through all of them obsessively until I find one or two of them that I recommend consistently. All right. Dingus, you think you're going to wait? I support that decision. And what happens is this. You don't lose your place on the list here. You're still there. We're just going to hold off on actually fulfilling it. And all you do after that launch, you can still come back and come hang out. And you're going to be learning stuff about PCs no matter what. Because I'm just going to yap about PCs. And I try to do it in a way that's, it's not overwhelming. It's approachable for those who are newer to PCs. Try to make this easy, But, and then once those things launch, you can come back and be like, hey, I'm on the list. And guess what? You're on the list from earlier in the month. So you get helped earlier than anyone who joins at that time. So you keep your place in line. Oh, you're giving the old PC to your sister. Okay. So you're at a $3,500 budget. I mean, that's, again, it's the same thing. It doesn't honestly matter what your budget is, though, because no matter what your budget is, it's a lot of money to you. Same thing for me. I probably I couldn't buy a PC right now, honestly. But if I did, it would be very budget and it would be a substantial investment to me. It would feel that way. So, anyway, do you want to hold off for a few weeks? Just a few weeks until the 24th. And I'm guaranteeing you this. Whatever Intel does, AMD is going to try to undercut them with the launch of 9800X 3D. That's the play. It's a tale as old as time and a song as old as business. They just cannot let each other have the spotlight. They will try to undercut announcements, things like that, and they both do it, and it's kind of hilarious to watch, honestly. It really is. That's what, as long as you, the viewers, because y'all just come in and hang out. You know how this is. You know what you went through this in the summer, earlier summer, I should say. You know what this is like. As long as y'all are cool with me yapping a bunch and telling people to wait, we went through this with 9000 series and with Computex. I don't take the responsibility that I have, that you grant to me, that you allow me to have. I don't take it lightly. And in this case, it's my responsibility to tell y'all to just hold your horses. Sorry, I get dry skin both this time of year and when I'm sick, so now it's extra bad. Sorry. It kind of grosses me out. Oh, that was great. I love that these are in 4K. 4K is extra kind to older folks like me. But Judgment, that is super cool to give your old PC to your sis. That's really cool. So when you say upgrade though, you don't mean you're upgrading the PC you already have. You're getting a whole different PC, or you're building a whole different either way. I would have said choose either pre-built or parts list, because it's still going to be a full PC regardless. That's what I would have gone with on the forum, but that's no big deal. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. I'm not a computer person, unfortunately, even though I'm willing to learn and get there. I'm not ready to build one at all, so I'm just looking at pre-builts. That's what we do here. Pre-built PCs are the best gateway into PC gaming. And if you want to go that route, PC DIY. But it's not required to get into PC DIY. It's just if you want to. It can be a great way to save money and things like that. You know, if you learn to upgrade it and stuff, then you can definitely go make your PC go longer and run better, stay relevant with newer games coming out in 5 years or whatever. But yeah, gonna hold off. Yeah, I meant parts list. That's my bad. It's cool. It's just a spreadsheet. I can go in and type that in. In fact, I didn't even need to type. I just copied, paste. Okay, I'm back to work. Watch the Bray rants on the VOD. Good night and have a great stream, Bray. Igor, you have a great evening, and I hope work treats you well because you deserve it. Michael Superbacker, how's it going? How the heck are you? So, Michael, question for you. I just remembered this. So I was watching an Alan Pan video. Hold on.
This video is sponsored.
I just want to show y'all something awesome here.
Try and jump over at 1,000 and then melt. Team can't down. Interest in razor. The world's smartest.
Check this out. Michael, look at you. You got Alan Pan wearing your merch shirt. That is epic. That is so epic. Ah, look at that. While hanging out with the hacksmith, of course. I just wanted to give you props. That's really cool. Alan's awesome. Oh, you said you're not going to hold off. Okay. Would you like my PC part picker list of my current build? I mean, we're going to start from scratch, right? Okay, here's the thing. If you're doing a parts list, here's what you can do. All right, Judgment? You can actually, I can do your build and just, and you can just swap. If, say, we go AMD, you can just swap in the new AMD CPU when that launches and not buy the other one. Just like have the list ready to go and just get the new CPU when it launches. But yeah, Michael, I just wanted to give you props on that, man. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. It's really cool. That's the laser lawnmower video, and it's amazing. I love that video. It was so good. But imagine my surprise when I was like, yo, I know that guy. He always comes into the streams and he's super nice. I'm on early AM4 at the moment. Well, this is a different system, so we would probably put you on AM5. Let's look at what you're doing. Okay, yeah. Okay, you are a perfect candidate for the upcoming 9800X 3D. Because it's going to be 8 cores, 16 threads. That's great for gaming and streaming at the same time. And it's going to be like either at or near the top of the charts. I'm really interested in what Intel's bringing to the table. Like, they didn't drop hyper-threading lightly. They're going all in. But the 9800X 3D is going to be also completely ridiculous. So We'll see. This is exciting, guys. This is freaking exciting. Are you? I'm excited. I love getting excited about this stuff. I just hate the waiting. The waiting sucks. Takes forever. Kingslayer 517. Just got my first PC from Alexander PCs. Refer to them from here. Thing is a beast. And I got a 4K 240Hz monitor to go with it. Dang. Very cool, Kingslayer. Congrats on that. Plus, will Intel's next-gen CPUs give you AV1 encoding on the CPU? Maybe, but like every GPU does it already, so it's not too critical unless you're trying to do a very small system with no dedicated GPU. But NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel GPUs all do AV1 encoding now. Now, it could help, though, if they somehow tie that into, like, QuickSync. But as far as I know, Adobe hasn't adopted AV1 in Premiere Pro yet, so it wouldn't help much, would it? Okay, let me ask you this, Judgment. What is the actual maximum budget for the PC? The reason I ask that, not that $3,500 is not enough. It definitely is. But the budgets are in increments of $500. So you could be at $3,750. I don't know. What is the actual max budget on the system? I'm iffy on Intel. I'm newish to the PC building area, and I keep thinking about overheating and such. Well, Intel doesn't seem to care as much about efficiency as AMD does, besides which AMD is forced to be thermally, let's say, thermally conservative. They can't just pump all of the wattage into the CPUs because of the 3D V-cache thermal limitations. That's just thermodynamics for you. Okay, 3,700. I almost called it. Almost. Hey, no problem, Kingslayer. I hope you got your $50 off too with code Thorn. That is always a nice little bonus. So for now, what we're going to do, because the 9800 X3D is probably going to be like $450. No, 400. I don't know what it's going to cost. Yeah, it's going to be around what the 7800 X. Well, that's actually a little high, but what did it launch for? Actually, I'm curious. $450. It's about at launch price right now. Okay. I think we've just been spoiled lately. So it's going to be around this price. We'll go ahead and pick the 7800 X3D. Bam. There you go. Awesome, Kingslayer. That's excellent. All right, Apocalyptic, you got it. Everybody else, hydrate with me, please. We are a team. It did go down quite a bit, and then Walmart, really? Walmart's got it. Hold on. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Available soon from MemoryC.com. Amazon and Walmart have it in stock. And Amazon, it's $581. Someone's gouging on the price a little bit. But Walmart really is the one here. That's who has it. That's amazing. Hey, that's not going to be the case with the 9800 X3D. I'm pretty sure that's why production ramped down on it, or why availability is shorted on it, is because they want to make room for it. It's the same thing that NVIDIA is doing with the 4090. Now for gaming and streaming, what color are we doing this build? It's going to be in black, right? Well, I still have a motherboard recommendation I'd like to do, which is currently, this is what I do. I find motherboards that really kind of cover all bases. And this one's going to do it for me here. This is the MSI X670E Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. You guys have seen me recommend this thing a million times. 4 M.2 sockets, lots of potential for PCIe expansion, meaning internal capture cards for streaming, additional USB ports with a PCIe add-in card, all that kind of stuff. And the I/O for streaming is awesome because you can plug in lots of USB devices right here. Look at that. And the price, $239. Out of stock there, never mind. $264. It's going up a little bit, I guess, but still, I guess the $239 was on sale. $264 is closer to the original price. But still, it's good. It's good for what it has. And because it's not just purely a black motherboard, you're going to, in a purely black build, you do have a nice little splash of color in there, a little contrast. There's nothing wrong with that. And these nice little teal accents. But keep in mind, your GPU is going to cover most of this. Your CPU cooler is going to cover some of the rest of it and things like that. So yeah, not the motherboard aesthetic can be helpful for an overall aesthetic look. But really what we're looking at here is the IO, the storage options, the power delivery is very good. This really is just a killer motherboard for the price. How much is the 7950X 3D? What's up, Zerg? How's it going? I don't know. Let's find out, I guess. 750X 3D is going for $599. $599. And the 9950X is only $23 more. And hey, they both have core parking, but 7950X 3D is going to be better at gaming. Let's get you more RAM than necessary because it is a $3,700 budget. We'll do 64 gigs, DDR5, 6000 CL30. It's the go-to. It's what I've been using a lot of, and it works. It does the things. Trident Z5 Neo is always a safe bet. I do really prefer Kingston, but it's not always obvious that it has Expo. Like, you have to look and get the right SKU for that. Like, there's two identical kits here. I don't know which one is Expo. Probably the more expensive one. But let's go Trident Z5 Neo just to sort of call it. Oh, I need to ask you this. Judgment, what is your preference when it comes to RGB? Do you want light sip in this thing, or do you not really care about RGB? How do you feel about it? Oh, you're going to get that King 95 Ultra Gear Seekers Edition. I actually talked to him about this at Computex. Really, really funny dude, by the way. I don't, nah, probably not. They're not sending me one. We chatted about it, but like, yeah, I don't know. Exiled Wolf, how's it going? Braxton says beer. What's happening? Everyone put your favorite flavor of sparkling water in the chat. Ah, I see that. For me, it's going to be... what was it called? What was it? It was like a... I think it was a peach guava one. But there was like a raspberry cranberry one that HEB had that I really liked. On Fawnum says, just saw your vid. Reactor Gaming got really good prices. They do. And when I talked to him about it before the video went up, the first thing he told me was like, "I'm already working on the pictures." By the way, I was like, "Okay, you knew I was going to say something about that." Yes, I do call that out in the video quite a bit. It was like, "Yeah, I figured you might." Yeah. So they're already working on the pictures thing. Really, there's some typos. It's a pretty young company for that, you know, relatively speaking. So they just have things to iron out in their processes. All right, if you don't care about RGB, I'm going to get it for you anyway because it's the same exact freaking price. So why not? Uh, 2 terabyte Inland Performance Plus because it just works. There's certain things I just don't deviate from much because it's just good. I get set in my ways, all right? I'm sorry. And especially when you don't care about certain things like the aesthetic, we're just going to go with whatever. Also, by the way, don't put this thing on your floor, please. If it's going to be under your desk, get a little platform for it. They sell those on Amazon very cheaply. There's even ones with wheels on them, so it's easy to roll your PC out to get to the connections and such. No, PC off floor. That's a rule for me. Oh, I have Secret Labs desk under desk mount. Okay, good. I mean, that desk mount is supposed to be really versatile, but we'll try not to get you too big of a case with that in mind, and get one that doesn't use side intake. It's going to be front intake, rear and top exhaust. We'll do that. We'll get a Landcool 216. There we go. So here's where I hesitate, because we're only at $11.40 and 65 cents. We haven't picked a power supply or a CPU cooler. I know, but it's hard for me to recommend a 4090 when we're just a few short months away from it being replaced. But you can totally afford one. So here's what you can do. All right. What you can do is get a placeholder GPU, one that's not that expensive, that you can sell used on your Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And then once, say, the 5090 or 5080 come out, you can pick up one of those, and it should be a pretty big uplift in performance. The only thing we don't know is pricing. We don't know pricing yet. So it could very well, I mean, even then, even if they make the 5090 $2,000 MSRP, it's still within budget for you. Blue Feb, they're giving that PC to their sis, so that won't really work. Actually, apricot water is pretty close to my fave. That might be what it was. Peach apricot? I don't remember. That was a really good one. Landcool Mesh 2 at the moment I have right now. Cool. So you're already used to the Lee and Lee kind of layout. This one's a little smaller than the the full size Landcool. It's a little smaller, but still fits all full size components. But you can see why. I mean, look, right now you could buy a 4090 Strix, Asus ROG Strix 4090 for $2,000. That, if someone buys that right now, a few months before, say, a 5090 comes out and beats it, they're going to feel not great about that. You know, there are cheaper 4090s. You get one of those, you're fine. You're going to be enjoying yourself. It doesn't really matter in the big picture, okay? But my job is to inform y'all of these things. So either get yourself, here's what you do. Would your sister notice or not if you put, say, maybe a, I don't know, like a 4060 in that system? What monitor is your sister getting? Is it 1080p, 1440p? What are we talking about there? Dave Odell, I appreciate the ardor for Alexander PCs, and they are great. But I swear to God, the way it works here is that you submit a form. It's listed in the description. Because I can recommend a lot of companies that you can trust, but I need to know, like, I just need to know what your priorities are, what your budget is, and all that stuff. To Alexander PC's credit, they have PCs for almost every price range. But there's some times where someone comes in and they're like, hey, I need to do like, I don't know, 4K video editing. My budget is $1,000. Or I want to do 1440p gaming. My budget is, $1,100 or whatever. And then I got to look at price to performance. And that's where boutique usually loses out by definition of being a boutique builder. So it's not just because something is a good choice doesn't mean they're always the right choice for everyone. I do have a 3060 Ti. You don't need a GPU then. Put the 3060 Ti in there, run on the 3080 Ti for now on this new one, and then get yourself a 5080 or 5090 with all the savings you're going to have. Let's go back. Let's look at what we got. So you're only at 1140 right now. And that's if the 9800X3D comes out at about 450, 460, whatever. we just need to do the CPU cooler and the power supply. Sound good? Let's get Lee and Lee on the cooler as well, so you can control everything just with the Lee and Lee Connect software. I think this would be a good choice right here to match the fans that are already in the system. You don't need a screen on it or anything like that. You're putting it under your desk anyway. For 120, very nice. And it's all controlled through the same software. Okay, so let's get you a freaking bananas power supply. Because that GPU, if you do 5090, to be clear, you don't need that. But if you do a 5090, they're rating it at a base TGP of 600 watts. And you're potentially going to see things like GPU manufacturers doing things like a 12V 2x6 connector plus an 8-pin PCIe connector, or two 12V 2x6 connectors. So yeah, that's a lot. I'd say let's go for the crazy ones here. Let's see. Good Lord. Can you even use that in the US? Doesn't it run off at 220? Right here. This thing is massively expensive, but just in case it has dual, that's a really big power supply for that case though. But just in case it has dual 12V 2x6 in it, I believe. What about this? It has a single one, but it has enough 8-pin PCIe power connectors for you to also use the adapter as well. So let's do this one. Well, it's about the same price, but what's the size of this? It's the same freaking size. They're giant. Okay. What do I do? What do I do for the power supply? Let's bump this down and see if there's a 1200 watt that has the dual. Actually, here, let's see. Let's do this. No, not that. Here we go. This should really narrow it down. There we go. Is there a one of these that is a normal size? This one's not bad. It's pretty close. The C1500. Okay. Yeah, there you go. 12V 2x6. This is our guy. And for $299, 1500 watts, platinum. Yeah. And it's a normal ATX power supply. Apocalyptic, I have no idea. I have no earthly idea. I mean, think about it. The base TGP is 600 watts. So AIB partners might go above that. Judgment, you can do any case you want. The problem is the XL in that fractal defined 7XL means it's extra large. And we can't be certain necessarily that it's going to fit within the bracket that supports a PC under your desk. So I'm looking at one that's going to be more appropriate size-wise for being mounted under a desk. Also weight-wise as well. Michael Superbacker says, "Hi, Braithorn. My girlfriend told me you quoted a Beauty and the Beast line. A tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme." I certainly did. You know what was great? Michael, check this out. We were watching Try Guy's video where Keith was eating everything at Magic Kingdom, right? And they go to have your girlfriend appreciate this. They go to have the cinnamon roll at Gaston's, or Gaston cinnamon roll, and I turn to my girlfriend and I say, I hope they made that using 5 dozen eggs, and she just died. She died. It was great. No one expects Disney references from me, but I got them. BDOM, if you need a 6K Lamborghini themed PC, Alexander PCs has you covered. They do. They do have the extravagant stuff. They also have pretty down to earth stuff too. But Michael, I was pointing this out earlier. I know you came in and said hi, but I was pointing out
this video is sponsored by
this.
The other work.
Look at Alan Pan wearing your shirt right here. I don't know if you saw this video, but I got a real kick out of this when I was watching this, because Alan Pan's awesome, and this is his laser lawnmower video, which I loved. But yeah, I was pointing that out to chat earlier. So congrats on the shout out by Alan Pan. She loved that. Nice. But yeah, I watched that. I was like, I know that guy. Michael comes in and hangs out on my chat. He's super nice. Sweaty God, it goes in order of people who submitted the form, and I am currently helping somebody right now, actually. All right. Hey, Alucard, thanks for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate you. I have a Tetradon under my desk secret lab. Ew, never heard secret lab called that way, but okay. BlueFev, indeed, Galax did make a 4090 with dual 12 VHPWR connectors. But this power supply can handle anything you're going to throw at it. And I like NZXT's power supplies. They're nice. But this is pretty much the whole system other than the GPU. There you go. Apocalyptic, if you're looking for a PSU that can actually utilize you understand 12 VHPWR or 12 V2x6 or 6x2, whichever it is, those can each carry 600 watts, meaning you need a power supply that can supply that, meaning it's going to be very high wattage. It is not going to be cheap, and you don't want to go cheap. $300 is very affordable for that. If you're going to spend like whatever $2,000 on a GPU, don't balk at spending an extra $100 on the power supply. No, that's not how you do that. That's my opinion. And it is also backed up by facts. No. Look at all these people I've helped out. It feels good. I like that. There we go. All right. I Sweaty God, it is your turn. See, you didn't have to wait long, right? I missed it because I was looking for the clip of the Beast and the Beast line. I'll go back and watch. Oh, no, it's okay. Here, it's right here.
This video is sponsored by
Well, if you're going back to watch, then there's that. But
you can't. Right. The lasers.
He's just, yeah, there you go. So a GPU go poof, right? I'll keep you updated, by the way. Appreciate that. And you know what? Don't be a stranger. Come hang out whenever. We just, if I'm not doing builds, I'm talking about PC stuff or random stuff that is somewhat adjacent to PCs. Also things that aren't. So, and on Sundays, by the way, on Twitch, I do gaming streams. Those, I think most people don't know I do that based on the viewership of it. But then again, that's not my niche. I know. I'm not a gaming content creator. But that's just really for me to chill, hang out with chat, and play some games. And but of course, you're already on Twitch, so you're already all set for that. Does PC Power Picker have compatibility check, like picking power supply that won't fit case? Yes, it does. Well, fitting the case of the power supply, there's nuance to that, BDOM, because the case manufacturer will say, oh, it fits this size power supplies. But what they don't tell you is that in order to fit that power supply, you have to bend the cables really tightly or remove any hard drive cage or whatever, and you might be planning on using that. So I just tend to use my better judgment. The Lancool 216 is not a very large case, and that was a very large power supply by Seasonic. So just using that kind of logic, that's what you can expect here, everyone. Just pure logic, just all the time. Sometimes. I went with a Corsair 1200 watt for my 4090. That's a good choice. Gaming with Ant-Man. Did you see my chat? Gaming with Ant-Man. How hard is a case swap to AH200 by Thermaltake? Well, gaming with Ant-Man, a case swap is always going to be involved. It's like building a PC, except you have to do twice the work almost, because you have to unbuild a PC and then build a PC all over again in a different case. You also need to make sure that your components that are currently fitting in your current case will fit into the new case. So there's some thinking to do. You need to check the specs and make sure it's going to fit. Please don't repeat your questions. I do get to things eventually. I love Alan. Yeah, I'm also his operational soda steel in his Operation Soda Steel video. Nice. Yeah. I missed it because I was looking for the clip of the Beast and the Beauty and the Beast line. I'll go back and watch. No, yeah, you're good. You're good. I didn't realize that you were saying you missed it earlier, so I just went into it again. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's that build. We're doing this build now. Okay, I Sweaty God YT. I will someday figure out how to get all of these to align as they should. But whatever. So it looks like we're going to Micro Center in Duluth. I looked into Build Redux, the good PC, but heard pros and cons, like the company has shipping problems. No, Build Redux has problems other than shipping. Like every SI is capable of having shipping problems because you're shipping something very delicate with a lot of expensive parts in it, and things can go wrong. Their job after that, though, is to take care of it for you if something does happen. So you're pretty much guaranteed to get a working PC. It's just, it means you have to wait a little bit if there's shipping problems. No. Build Redux has other issues that have really become apparent over time, and they are problems that come down that are inherited from Digital Storm. And because of that, I don't think they're ever going to change those things. I just don't see it happening. But if you have a Micro Center there, we can just do the build at Micro Center if you want to. So, ISG, can I call you ISG? Or I Sweaty God, that's fine. So here's the thing. This is something I explained earlier, but we are a short few weeks away from the launch of both a completely new platform from Intel, Arrow Lake, and the Z890 motherboards. And we are also a few weeks away from the launch of AMD's new Ryzen 7 9800X3D, which, going by historical histories, is probably going to take the top slot in gaming, just be the top gaming CPU on the market. But they're also eventually going to release a 9600X3D, which for something like a $1,500 system, very good choice for the CPU for a gaming only system. So what I've been telling people is this: I can't tell you whether it's worth it to wait for it or not. That is not for me to decide. That is for you to decide. If you decide it's worth the wait, then you're correct. If you decide it's not worth the wait, you are also correct, because it is a subjective thing and it's completely up to you. So, what the option is that your form stays in the system here, stays in the spreadsheet here. And once those things launch, you come back, you say, hey, Braythorn, I'm on the list, and you're on the list, but earlier than most other people who have only recently joined. You get helped out earlier, And that's going to be with the newer stuff. Or we just do your build and you just get whatever you want now without having to wait. No one's telling you you have to wait. It's just an option. What do you think? Naked Jakey, what's up? Oh, you're answering Apocalyptic. Between the 5090, a 9800 X3D, and a new PSU is going to cost me as much as a decent PC. Lol, got most of it saved up already. Good for you. Got it. Fits. Right. I do K-swap for funsies when I don't have a new PC to build. Rurutu, that is literally a thing I've done before. Believe it or not. 5090 probably going to be $2,400. God, I hope not. And this is something someone else mentioned before. If it's going to be that much, it had better be an actual Titan card. Literally, because the Titan card was $2,500. Am I remembering that correctly? Oh man, NVIDIA's been at this for a long time. But I'm hoping, because look, yes, it's going to be a big jump in performance over the 4090, right? That's their whole MO. That's what they're going to do. Remember this, that does not mean the 4090 gets slower. It just means it gets lower in price. However, the 4090 was a massive jump in performance over the 3090, and it only cost $100 more MSRP. So that was actually kind of reasonable from NVIDIA, relatively speaking, because the 3090 was already unreasonable. So I'm hoping they do that again. It's another $100. We can probably handle that. AIBs at $100 themselves, like your MSIs, your Asus, and all, especially Asus with their Strix cards, they add a bunch of price to it. So I'm hoping for a really solid FE card and some really solid basic options from AIBs coming in at like $1,700-1,800. I'm hoping, but it's not. There's a non-zero chance that they go for $1,999. I can wait. I don't mind. And I really love the way you were explaining it. That's the thing. Like, I have been unsurprised by the reaction by most people when I just say, hey, here's the deal. Make the decision for yourself. Most people have been like, yeah, I'm going to wait. Unless you have a reason why you need it now. Like, the thing about these streams, I don't fail at these streams if I don't recommend a bunch of systems. I fail at these streams if I don't provide you with the information that you need. Also, can we just admire the Buc-ee's drip real quick? Like, yo. Loving it. Okay, Jasmine, have a good sleep. 2,500 in 2025 doesn't buy as much as 2,500 in 2019. Well, yeah. But if you look at inflation, it's the 90 class cards have generally been the price of a mid-range PC, and it scales up with it. Isn't that crazy? Burger flippers didn't make $15 an hour in 2019, right? But Medic, have you taken a look at the statistics for inflation and the spike that we've had in the last few years since COVID? Everything is devastatingly expensive everywhere. I just made myself sad and scared. Cherokee Vapor, I believe the greed will have the price. They're not going to do 3,000 or higher. No. They're not. They can't do that. They're not. There's no way. I understand that they can literally do whatever they want, especially with AMD saying we're not even going to try to compete anymore. Thanks, AMD. Appreciate that. Y'all were the only ones keeping them in check. But NVIDIA won't do that because of the backlash. Believe it or not, the shareholders would not like that. Them pricing themselves utterly and completely out of the market like that. If they want to price gouge, they're already doing that in the AI space. They don't need GeForce to make money anymore. Now they can just have fun with it. And I hope they freaking do. Imagine them coming out with a $1,200 5090. Can you imagine that? And imagine how sad it is that would be impressive, because it used to be like $600 to get the top GPU on the market. Ugh. They do work hard too. Indeed. Shareholders not going to question Jensen's way to do business. They are if the stock falls, Rubutu. If the stock falls, they will question everything. They do not want to lose that number one spot in the world right now. It's just a point of pride. 3,000 for 5090. No, it's not going to happen. NVIDIA only cares about AI money. They don't have to complete rip-off game. Yeah, I hope that my cautious optimism has survived much worse than this. So I remain cautiously optimistic. Do you think the new 12-pin power connectors will be able to handle the 5090? My MSI RTX 4090 have been RMA'd 3 times already. That is not great, Zerd, but I'll tell you, so I was talking to an NVIDIA person, and they can't tell me anything. They can't tell me anything, but I can ask questions like, hey, are we looking at some AIBs potentially doing 12v2x6 plus an 8-pin PCIe? And he's like, it might be a thing. It might be a thing. It might be a thing. Or it could be 2 12v2x6s. Or is it 6x2? I'm going to look right now because I'm confusing myself. That's 12v PWR. No, I got to go here. Oh, it's not saying it there. It's on the picture. Which super cool of NZXT, but yeah, 12v2x6. I was saying it right. Okay, good. At least it's not as bad as Intel taking a naming convention we've been using for like 20 years and just throwing it out the window. Can you explain what's wrong with build Redux? I did earlier, but just want to know since my friends also been looking to build Redux so I can educate them. Okay, let's take a look at the website. All right, we're gonna do this now because I don't have anybody else waiting right now, so we can do this. Build Redux. There you are. And we're also gonna, I don't think I have Digital Storm on here. That's how, okay, we're gonna look at one and then we're gonna look at the other. And you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Start build, yada yada, what game? Yeah. Sure. And by the way, do not buy this case, it sucks. You can actually see it right here. You can see how bad the exhaust airflow is. Like, look at that. How does any air get out of this thing? That's all metal. And it's the same thing behind these fans for the intake. It is like they've never seen a PC before and they don't know how air works. It's so bad. Anyway. Oh, they're ready to ship now. Great. I hate it because it's still a bad case. Okay, so if we go to memory and we look at their DDR5. Okay, this is like 2 years ago specs for DDR5. DDR5 5200. Why does that make sense? Because they probably bought gallons and gallons of DDR5 at this spec 2 years ago. You can't measure RAM in gallons. I'm aware. But still. Also, the cast latency readout is completely wrong, and I told them that, and they have not fixed it because I don't know if they care. I don't know if they care. Now let's look at this here because this is faster. This might be a better option. Maybe it's faster RAM now. Nope. DDR5 5200, same thing. The only thing you're getting is RGB. That's it. Same specs, unless the specs are wrong, which is also a bad thing. Now, so that's old, slower RAM, okay? It will work, but it's not optimal. Now, if we go to storage, okay? Your average storage is going to be anywhere from like 4,000 megabyte per second sequential read speeds to like 7,000 megabyte per second sequential read speeds. So 3,500 to 7,000 Yeah, about anywhere from there. These are the only options for SSDs. Up to 2400 megabyte per second sequential read speeds, up to 1750 sequential megabytes per second sequential write speeds. That is it's like 1/5 of the speed you'll get from most SSDs of like even medium quality now. That Inland Performance Plus that I keep pushing, that's $135 for a 2 terabyte or $139. It's over 7,000 megabytes per second sequential read speeds. This 2 terabyte costs you additional $60. Let me close this. And it's the same freaking speed. It's the same terrible speed. So this tells you kind of all you need to know. That where they're cutting corners, where other SIs are not. This is also looking like an MATX motherboard in a full ATX case, which looks really bad. Now, where does this behavior come from? What is the source for this behavior? All right, well, their parent company or sister company, Digital Storm, is the source of this behavior, okay? And we're gonna take a look at that right now under their desktops. Let's go to the Corsa, let's select that. And then we're gonna go ahead and shop now. I'm so interested, I gotta shop now. We'll look at this AMD system right here. View configs. Let's say your budget is $3,000, okay? So 2757, you do a couple of little minor things, whatever, it'll be around $3,000. It's actually normally priced around $3,000. So this is what Digital Storm thinks it's worth, $3,000, $2,957. So we're rounding up. What kind of storage do you think this gets? Remember, Build Redux is like the higher volume, more every person kind of system integrator for more people to be able to get PCs that are not this boutique high-end builder, which is Digital Storm. Every system they send to an influencer or a content creator is all with tubes and custom liquid cooling and all is over the top, right? Yeah. It's going to be the 1 terabyte Digital Storm M2 Performance Series. Performance Series. What the hell does that mean? What brand is this? It's ODM stuff. A different manufacturer makes it. They label it with their name. Well, it can't be slow. It's their Performance Series, dummy. Yeah, this is PCIe Gen 3. And these numbers should look pretty familiar because they're very similar to the ones that Build Redux are using. Up to 2100 megabyte per second max sequential read speed, up to 1600 megabyte per second max sequential write speeds. Now, why is this even a problem? Because look, you can change it, Bray. You can change it to something actually good. Okay, great. But not everybody does that. There's plenty of people who will be like, oh, it's got a terabyte. Okay. Oh, 4080 Super, 7800 X3D. That's what I wanted. Never mind that it's an MATX motherboard and a basic Asus Prime B650M-A. MATX motherboard and a full ATX case for $3,000. And what about the RAM speeds? Oh, what's your default RAM speed? Oh, DDR5 5200. Doesn't that sound familiar? The behavior comes from the top, the leadership, and trickles all the way down to another company, Build Redux, because that's their sister company. This is Digital Storm. That's why earlier I was like, that's why I'm gonna just call them Digital Drizzle, is there's no storm here. The storm has died. Storm has died out. They don't care anymore. And if they want to say it, sure. You know what? That's the great thing about words, right? You can just put them together however you want and like just say anything. It's your actions. It's your configs. It's your default specs that tell us your intentions. And people who come in and just add to cart because they don't know any better, which is why they're buying a pre-built. Most people in my community tell me right off the bat, and it's been plenty of times in chat here, this is my first PC. I don't know anything about PCs. I need help me out. Okay, cool. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to prey upon that like certain companies want to do, because it helps them sell boatloads of old tech in overpriced PCs that seriously should be probably about $700 cheaper, $500 cheaper, I guess. There is a 4080 Super in there. But this system has bottlenecks. It has bottlenecks baked right into the crust. So if you want, you could always clip that if you want to, I swear to God, and just share that to them. Or just remember at what point of the stream this is or whatever, and just link it to them so they can see the whole explanation and my whole rant and why I'm such a nerd about this stuff. Because someone has to be, man. Someone's got to be looking out for companies doing this kind of thing. I met one of the people in leadership at Digital Storm. It was a tense elevator ride because I had just called them out for having an old picture on their front page with like 20 series GPUs in SLI, and next to it, it said never outdated. This was less than a year ago. Ouch. Michael says, is the performance difference between 3000 series cards and the current 4000, upcoming 5000 that much different? Michael, I can actually show you a visual representation of that thanks to Tom's Hardware and thanks to Zach's Tech Turf for bringing this information together. So we go here to a GPU comparison chart. And Michael, if I may ask, what resolution do you game in? Is it 1440p? 1080p, 4K? Turdog, that's a comment I get a lot whenever I talk about an SI that needs to do better. This is why I build my own computers. It shouldn't have to be like that. And there are much better SIs out there, but there are still people who will be like, I'm just going to buy Digital Storm because I saw it in a video and it looked really good and they said good things about it. And I know it was sponsored, but like it still looked really good. Yeah, of course it did. It was a sponsored video. It was a curated system. That's how that works. That's not a review. That's a feature. That's a product feature. People need to be able to trust that SIs are optimizing their PCs, getting them the most bang for their buck that they can, while also understanding that they're going to be paying for the service of having the PC built, shipped, and warrantied. I swear to God, I promise, it's not saving your life to tell you that stuff. You would have lived with a Build Redux system. There's plenty of people who got them and were very happy with them. But like, I don't like to see that kind of thing because it seems predatory to me. Naming something like that the performance series instead of the legacy series of parts, like that SSD is a legacy SSD. It should not be the performance series. That should be PCIe Gen 4 or even 5. That's the, well, I guess it's like performance and then pro or whatever. But if they're going to put their own name on something and call it the performance series and it's going to be low performance, that says everything you need to know about Digital Storm and then by extension, Build Redux. And I don't want to talk bad about them. I know some people that work at Build Redux and they're nice people, but I was told things would be changing and they have not. 1440p. All right, so we go here to the 1440p chart right here. And which 30 series card do you have? Because this is not going to include the 50 series yet. Obviously, that has not launched, but there is a pretty solid difference. If you look here, a 4070 Super in 1440p Ultra settings, nearly, it beats a 3090. A 4070 Super beats a 3090. Oh, exactly. There are good SIs out there. You just have to research them. That's what I do. It's my bread and butter. NZXT and Digital Storm and Build Redux all have the same default specs. NZXT, they don't do things like labeling it performance series, and they make it a lot more obvious that you can change it. I think NZXT is better about this. But if in their pre-configured systems, they don't allow you to change some things, then that bothers me. But that's the nature of that. That's how that works. Braythorn, is the Corsair Origin group better? I like the direction Origin has gone. I think that the acquisition with Corsair was a net gain because there's no more proprietary cases or anything like that. It's just all Corsair stuff. And though you do pay the Corsair tax in spades, Corsair can make a good quality product. So I think it was a net gain for Origin. And I think with the shifting industry, that even if Origin knows their place in the industry, I don't think I've figured it out yet. That's more on me than on them. And I've talked to them. I know those guys. We just need to work together on something so I can get a good feel for it. Oh, my side light went out. Oh, well, you get more dramatic lighting with the shadow here now. Enjoy that, everybody. Maybe I need to upgrade my monitor to a 4K. Michael, I would probably do the... I mean, you could do that. Did you know what GPU you have? Which 30 series it is? Is it like a 3080, 3080 Ti, 3070 Ti? What do you got there? Honestly, prefer the shadow. Makes you look real, thanks to Steri. I didn't before. I guess so. The problem is if I have a dark screen, it's a little too... Like, this shadow right here bothers me because I got the microphone, like, right there. But that kind of is minimized by the other thing. Anyways. You can see how much my monitor actually affects my lighting, which is not ideal, honestly. But I don't like running my my F22C, my lighting panel up here, too hot because it's too bright. And then I have to adjust my camera and all that. Apocalyptic. Well, yeah, I just said that I don't like the way they do pre-builts, pretty much. But he gets it. I'm allowed to disagree, and he knows I have logic behind it because I told him that I do, and that I wanted to discuss it respectfully. And he was like, "Oh, okay." But it was Steve. It was at Computex. Asteri, how you holding up over there? Have you heard from some of your friends that were, I know were sort of inundated with the storm or set upon by the storm? Is everything okay? I've been thinking about that. I hope everyone's all right. Who is this non-robot?
Who is this non-robot human?
Oh, come on. It's just me, baby. Don't worry. What made you think I was a robot to begin with?
Sorry, I had to turn my vocal effects back on so I sound like this again. When I turn them off,
And I tell you guys show you guys my real voice, then it's just a little too much. You know, I can't just talk like this all the time. It'd be too much for y'all. I understand that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my vocal effects back.
back on, and then I sound like this. There you go. RTX 3060. You could, okay, I wouldn't get a 4K monitor yet, but you have been pushing that 3060 by running it at 1440p. So to show you, the 3060 is here, right here on the chart, and this is in 1440p. It is getting average of sub 60 frames per second. So what you probably would want to do, if you did something like a 4070 Super, you're looking at a massive increase in performance for like $500, which is awesome. AB2, I know it's nice, but this is what I say when it comes to this, right? Like, I understand electronics, and one thing that can be bad for electronics
Is when you have pure honey leaking out of them. So I can't let my natural voice ring out like this all the time. I don't want to ruin your speakers.
It's just letting you know. I'm picturing that elevator ride, embracing, how's your never outdated performance line doing? Well, there was this thing where it was like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And he gave me his card. And I was like, oh, you're the this and that of Digital Storm. Very cool. Yeah. How's your CES going? I'm not like, look, I was overwhelmed with a lot of this stuff very early on. I'm not really anymore, but I do understand that I'm just a guy in a room talking stuff, and they're running a whole company where a lot of people work there and are reliant upon them to have their jobs. I don't want companies to shut down. I don't want companies to go under. I want companies to do better. So it's on me. I should have reached out to him after the fact. I thought they were going to reach out to me. He has my card too. I should have reached out to him after the fact to sort of get a dialogue going, because there's a lot of times where when I have these talks, change actually happens. Wow, so my card is mainly for 1080p. Yes, it is. Well, generally speaking, if it runs, it runs. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like if you went with something like a 4070 Super, it would be a huge uplift in performance. And as long as you have a I would say probably 7 to 750 watt power supply, which you probably have, that should be able to handle a 4070 Super just fine. Let me see what the minimum requirement is for that. At least 650 watts, apparently, actually. At least 650. So yeah, as long as you have a 650 watt or higher power supply, you're fine. All you got to do is drop in that 4070 Super, update your graphics drivers, and you're good to go. You wouldn't ruin my speakers. Okay. I love my 4080 Super, though. Now I may have to upgrade my monitors one day. I mean, that's usually the order you want to go in. Upgrade your GPU and then get the monitors to run on that. Because if you upgrade your monitors and you're still on your older GPU, the older GPU may be struggling a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, dropping into major rank match and WoW, so lurky time for me. Thank you for the lurk, and GLHF. Good luck, have fun. I wish that natural voice would come out more often. Lol. Crash, with great power comes great responsibility. I got to be careful with that. Motherboard should be fine. What does a cheap motherboard do versus an expensive one? There are so many things to that, Michael. I can't. It's power delivery for the CPU and for the rest of the board as well. I/O, as in connectivity, so how many things you can connect to it. How the PCIe is laid out, so that's a whole thing. But also like just different connectors that are available on the board. And the rear I/O, how many USB ports you have and all that kind of stuff. What kind of Wi-Fi you've got, all of that. The main thing is, if you're really just using it for gaming, all you got to do is swap that GPU, update the graphics drivers, and you'll be off to the races. Conquistador, I've got quite a few that I like. If you want a really quick list of them, in the Discord is a coupon code section. And any company that I have a coupon code with, I'm generally... Actually, I'm going to go and remove one real quick. I've been meaning to do this forever. But that's a good way to kind of see which ones. Okay, yeah, so you can go in there, take a look through those. That kind of shows you a bunch of SIs that I would recommend. But it's not all of them. Uh, 11400, 16 gigs RAM. Cool. Thanks for the tip. Last question: you recommend a new GPU, or I would do a new one, Michael. I would do a new one. A new GPU would probably be better there. because the 4070 Super is a relatively new card, so there's not going to be that many used ones on the market. So I'd probably do that. I'd probably do a new one. And there's plenty of stock of those too. Apocalyptic, no. AMD is dropping out of the high-end GPU race, which is very sensible because if you look at the Steam hardware survey, the most recent one, only 4% of gamers are on Steam are gaming at 4K. 4%. Most of them are at 1080p, and then the rest are 1440p. So yeah, I have that pretty nice Logitech 2.1 speakers. Nice. Thoughts on BFT builds, says Jaden. I don't know what BFT builds is. Is that a smaller SI, or is that an SI I haven't heard of? Is it an SI outside of America? What is that? Bluefab, Newegg recently had bundles with the 12600K and 12700K, and the motherboard they paired with them was an absolute trash B760 board that could probably use for like a Pentium Celeron, or okay, maybe 12400, but was pushing 125 watts from the only half heat sinked VRMs on that board was a joke. I hate that. Do not, like, if you have a choice, don't cheap out on the motherboard. You know? Oh, Asus BTF. Back to, well, they said BFT. So back to, yeah. BTF with connectors on the back. I think it's super clean. I think it's a bit niche right now, but those kinds of things only stay niche for so long. Either the niche goes away or they become mainstream. There seems to be enough industry support for it that it could very well become mainstream. And I'm down with that. It's very cool. No cables, BFT. Well, BTF. Yeah, BTF. Or Project Zero for MSI. When I see an acronym, I read it exactly as is and I don't infer. But yeah, BTF, not BFT. Bluefab has it right. Sinuses feel like they're starting to get bad again. I need to do another thing of Theraflu probably. I'm glad I'm able to talk. It's pretty much all I've got going for me right now. It's just being able to yap. So, you're welcome, everybody. Oh, it's okay. No, they did too. So, can you tell me your thoughts on this build? Okay, Conquistador, if you're gonna want help, please do what every other viewer does and check out the description. There's a link in the description that you can fill out. And it's a form, and that form tells me information I need to be able to help y'all out. Yeah. Man. Oh man. I think every time I come on stream without fully being like good again, I think every time I'm setting myself back. It's just, stream is supposedly easy. I just sit here in front of the lights and the camera and I just talk to you guys, but I'm starting to feel it again, man. I'm starting to... I might need to be calling it here pretty soon. Anyone know if LG's coming out with any C-Class OLED TVs next year? No idea. I don't follow that stuff, really. I probably should. Bray, I picked up the NZXT H6 Flow for 105 open box from Max Build. Very cool. That's a good deal. Take a week or two off. I cannot do that. I can't do that. I am very behind on stuff. I can't. I already feel guilty enough about the stuff I'm behind on right now. I need to just buckle down and get everything done. But if I rest a little, if I get a little extra rest tonight, I can get more done tomorrow. So I might need to be calling it here soon. But I mean, I don't have any active forms in there right now. And mostly everybody's like waiting. And mostly everybody, I don't want to look, I don't want to hear myself. Come on.
Not unless I sound like this. If I sound like this, then yeah.
But I can't sound like that all the time. I ain't got it in me right now. Tech Grant, it is mentally draining, but really just like talking a lot is probably aggravating my respiratory systems. It's you know, I got these guys right here. Maybe this will help. I appreciate that, Crash. Thank you. What PC parts are the safest to buy used? I'd say probably cases. There you go. Cases. Maybe PSUs because they have the longest warranty, and I think it's usually transferable. CPUs are pretty bulletproof, but like that's the thing is like, well, I mean, in terms of physical, like if you, it's a bot in the box and you drop it, like it's hard to break a CPU, but you can like overclock it, and it could, if you're looking at any 13th or 14th gen used Intel CPUs, stop looking at those. They could be some of the unstable ones that were having problems. But yeah, I hate to cut it short, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night because I'm just pain right now, and I'm starting to feel that sort of sore throat thing come back. I can't really do this much longer. But if you didn't catch the video yesterday, I dragged my butt over to the PC to just try and crank that thing out, and I hope you guys liked it. If you watched it, check out the video because we're talking about the upcoming 50 series and 9800 X3D stuff and what it means to you, and then talking about a cool new SI that I hadn't really seen before, but that I met at TwitchCon. You guys should check it out. Yeah, you've probably already heard me talk about it here, though, but I appreciate that, Grant. And everybody, I appreciate all y'all hanging out. Like, that means a lot to me. It does. I don't know if I should sorry to mute there for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and just call it here. Yeah, I'm not gonna raid or anything. All right, hey Michael, thank you for coming in, bud. Good luck with hunting down a 4070 Super, if that's the right one for you. I hope it is. It'll make a big upgrade for your PC. No problem, B-Dom and Crash, thank you. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on Sunday. It should be good by then. I have a few days off if I just, yeah. I'll catch y'all on Sunday, and until then, take care.
Let's go, nerds!